The police just came and we have to hurry. Sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, this is so fun. Good morning, everyone. All right, I've got this creative idea. We're gonna be shooting thousands of photos, maybe 5,000, maybe 3,000. Why? Because there is a concept I've never shared with any of you guys. I've shot it once in my life. I've never seen it done by anyone, and I think you guys will love it and you'll be able to do it at your home. So we need a laptop. Why? For the first scene, because we're gonna have 3 different scenes. We're gonna have one scene that's gonna be by the lake around sunset, one which is really the master scene. It's gonna be in a car, moving at hyper speed through a city. We'll see how that works out. I'll show you in a second. And the third one is going to be urban, kind of like highway. I'm gonna show you how we shoot it, how we edit it, because I think you're gonna love it. And I've been challenged by NVIDIA to show you some really powerful stuff. So if you're ready, let's get started. All right, arrived on location. The time lapse right now is in aperture priority. We're gonna be shooting in 6,400 Kelvin, something like that. ISO is locked and my aperture is at 2.8 so that it transitions nicely into the night, and then we'll go to the next sequence that we talked about. As mentioned, I'm gonna have the laptop. It's gonna create a nice light on my face when I'm sitting. It looks like really cool with the glow. That makes for a great photo. Basically, Andrew is moving from here. I'm picking up the phone. Andrew is calling me. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm holding my laptop, moving out of the frame, and you're gonna move back. And behind us, we have the time lapse going on. We are taking about 1,000 photos, so that's gonna take like 40 minutes to capture all that. This looks so good. Now we're gonna get the second part, the cool time lapse. It's gonna be very, very special. It's a method I've used once. It yields for amazing results, but it's very difficult to do, but I think we can make it, so let's just go for it. Woo! All right, so this is going to be a very complex shoot, and it requires a few things. It requires an awesome driver. Hey, Alex. And we've got Joey, who is just tagging along to play with ketchup. He's gonna like splash ketchup through the window while we're driving. The concept is going to have the car static in the middle of the road with cars passing by super quickly, so it looks like we're on hyper speed because they're gonna be in long exposure, like kind of like light trail. So let's try to find a good spot to do that. And guys, if it works, I wanna see your shots. I wanna see you do it, because I think it's gonna be one of those like crazy cool ideas that you can replicate, and it's gonna be dope in different locations. So we've got Alex with the car in the middle. Joey's helping me film. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go at 16mm. We're gonna try to have the front of the car. I'm gonna set up the tripod. I don't know how. Alex might hate me for like putting it on his car, but he calls it the filmmobile, so we better make use of it, right? See? That's perfect.
It's stable enough.
We're gonna put a ND filter on it, like a 2-stop. We're gonna put a light on Alex's dashboard, okay? To kind of light him up. I think that way. Maybe softer. I have an old paper towel. Here, this is how you do a light softener. There we go. Okay, let's see what it looks like from here.
Did you bring the loom cube?
No, I didn't bring the loom cube. You have one? Yeah, let's use it. Okay, he has the loom cube. We're gonna use it. It's gonna be better than the phone.
This is a lesson to all you young content creators out there.
Always carry everything for no reason.
This is why we carry 1,000,000 pounds of stuff. Just in case you need this small thing.
Oh, it's not charged, sir. Oh yeah, that's cool. We are moving higher to get the angle a little bit better and get the lines on the side. We're gonna take about 250 shots because it's gonna be like a 10-second clip at 24 frames per second. We'll talk about it in editing. Don't worry, guys. The police just came and we have to hurry. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to show you like the result at the end. When we're gonna bring it together, it's gonna be absolutely epic. So this time lapse should take about 5 minutes. Hopefully the cops won't come back. I think we. Sorry, Alex. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope it's. By the way, go check out Joey's channel if you're into filmmaking. Alex, you can come out.
You want to see?
Oh, that is really cool, actually. We
Pushing.
need to add some motion, yes.
The problem is, if you want to have the car move at the same time, we can't have the engine on. We would need an electrical car, or we might just like remove the handbrake and someone's gonna push the car slowly.
I mean, I would love to help, but I have 2 cameras in my hand.
Gosh, this is heavy, guys. Anything for the shot. Like, what's your warning line?
So you're gonna push it from the back now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go at the back. Alex, you ready? You have to really act it out as if you're driving, okay? You can make faces, Alex. It's gonna be fun. But you have to do like slow-mo faces. Oh, this is so cool!
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Let's go do it on Roosevelt, dude.
Yeah.
Let's just
Let's go
practice.
for the highway now.
That was just practice.
All right, so there is a middle lane here, so we can try. Might be a little tricky. There's a lot more car passing by, so don't do this, please, guys. Ready, Alex? Ready? Everyone, don't die. Let's go.
It looks really dope with the building and the moon above there.
All right. Let's see how it looks. It looks epic. The problem is at 3 seconds we don't get enough shots. What else did you want to do it? You said there's another middle lane.
I think the Chicago theater would be cool.
Oh, dude, the theater was sick.
Okay, Chicago sign. Mission, let's go. See you in 5 minutes. I think we got it. I'm so pumped to check. Let's go check inside. I'm freezing now. Who's ready?
Ready.
Oh, this is so fun.
What?
Woo. Welcome back to the studio. What a hot damn crazy shoot, guys. I'm gonna show you a little bit the process, how we're getting to that final result. Wow. So intense, so fun. I kind of want to see your concept, like get those ideas, get how I do it, and then tag me on Instagram. I want to see what you're going to create. First things first is how do we create those time lapses together? Now, little warning. Time lapses are super resource intensive whenever you're editing and when you're exporting, so you want to make sure that you have a good setup, and NVIDIA asked me to share with you what and how you can make sure that you get the best performance out of your gear. So right now I'm using a HP ZBook with the Intel Core i7, 16 gig of RAM, which is not crazy, but it works out great. A GeForce RTX 2070 Max-Q, which is the laptop version, and I can tell you it works great. If anyone remembers the GeForce 2, which I was using back in the days when we were playing Counter-Strike, I remember I was like, oh, NVIDIA GeForce 2 is the beast. Nowadays it came so far, it's so much better. And we've got a touchscreen also on that one, which I fell in love with. Now, enough spec talk. How do we get the best performance at our softwares? Well, I'm gonna show you on DaVinci, which is a free editing program, Lightroom, and Photoshop. Yes, you can get better performance on all those softwares. What do? Well, very simply, you go to Lightroom, you press Preferences, and then you go to Performance tab, and here you make sure that the box Use GPU for image processing is ticked. It is very important. It's going to show you also probably the GPU that you have, which is the graphic card. The graphic card is supposed to be handling all the visual work if you want. And some software leverage it really, really well nowadays, especially Lightroom, Photoshop, DaVinci. They're doing a lot of work to use that GPU and not that CPU, because when your computer like slows down like crazy, that's because the CPU is being overloaded. So instead of overloading the CPU with graphic work, you want the GPU to take care of it. It's going to make exports, playbacks, faster rendering times, especially when you're in high resolution. In Lightroom, it's going to make using brushes and all the adjustments a lot faster and smoother when you use it. It is a must have if you're a creator. Now, if you're confused, don't panic. I have a link in the description to go to NVIDIA Studio, where you will learn everything about how your GPU is integrated in the software, how it works, and how you can take advantage of it. Because NVIDIA has been working with Adobe, Blackmagic, Autodesk, and other companies to bring GPU accelerated improvements to the software we rely on. And that's so important. That's why nowadays Lightroom can finally use the GPU. It wasn't the case before, so in a way we can thank NVIDIA for that. Thank you, NVIDIA. I'm really appreciated. Anything faster on Lightroom, especially during heavy edits, is so important. Okay, so now last thing to make sure you have ticked on Lightroom, it is use smart previews for editing instead of full resolution. It will make it even faster and smoother. That's it for Lightroom. And in Photoshop, same, you go in preferences and then performance, and here you make sure that the use graphic processor is ticked, and then you can go to advanced settings and you can go drawing mode, and then you have a bunch of stuff that you can tick. The most important here again is to make sure that you always use the GPU, because some software actually by default don't use it. In DaVinci, you're going to go to preferences, memory, and GPU, and you're going to make sure that your GPU is selected. So I showed you that very quickly. You can use it also for the software you're using. If you're using Luminar, if you're using Premiere, it is the same thing. Make sure it is ticked. It's going to make your edits a lot faster. Now, how do we edit or time-lapse photos? Well, let's get to it. We're gonna import all our photos into Lightroom. There we go. And I'm gonna just create embedded previews, otherwise it's gonna take forever. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and create different collections for the different time lapses, and I'm going to edit just one photo. I'm going to slap a preset to use it as a base. Those are the presets I use every day. And now I'm going to make a few adjustments to make it look good. Maybe a few radial filter or gradient. Now I'm going to select the rest of the photos in that folder, and I'm going to press sync in the develop model, and that's going to sync those settings across all those images. And it's going to be awesome because now they look the same, right? So white balance, all that is going to be completely the same. Your exposure should be the same, and now we can simply repeat that task for all the time lapses we shot, and we're going to press export. I'm going to export in about 4,000 pixels. The reason is if I export in max res, we have 43 megapixel files. It's going to be 8K basically images. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a lot to process after for the time lapse, and I don't need to crop in that hard. So 4,000 pixel long edge is great. JPEG quality to 100. You don't want any artifacts in the sky. That's very important. Now let's export those thousands of photos, and this is really where it's important to have a good configuration. Like an HPZ book, you want it to be as fast as possible. And now, how do you actually create your time-lapse clips is super interesting. It can be done in a very, very easy way. There are 2 softwares you can use, 3 even, or 4, but we're gonna talk about DaVinci, which is a free one. I wanted you guys to actually get access to something free if you don't have Photoshop. So in DaVinci, it's going to be fairly interesting. You are gonna open a new project. There are other tutorials for that. Create a timeline. And in the media section, you're going to drag and drop the folder with all the photos. And that folder, you can select it and drag it, import it into your medias, and guess what? It's going to create directly a sequence of all those images together. Because when you export from Lightroom, you have to make sure also, if it's not the case in your camera, that the numbers follow each other, like the file name in, for example, 012-300. So for example, it's going to be DSC01 and then DSC300, the last one. And DaVinci is going to take that and create a sequence automatically. That sequence, you can drop it in your timeline, do some edits if you want. The best one is simply to click on it and press dynamic zoom. So it's going to make a little dynamic zoom while you're looking at the time lapse, which is great. But there is also another way, which is using Photoshop. And with Photoshop, you simply press open, and then you select the folder. You go in the folder, select the first photo of that sequence. You're going to make sure you take the box open as a sequence, and then you press open, and it's going to open directly all those photos as a sequence. So image sequence, there we go. You select your frame rate, maybe 24 frames per second, 30, whatever you want. And now go at the top right from the essential or photography module, go into motion, and now you're going to see a little time lapse at the bottom. You can scroll through and see the whole sequence go by, which is really cool. You can also do more Photoshop edits, but here basically I stopped there. I was already happy with my edits. I press file, export, render video, and here I exported 4K video, again 4000 pixel, the same like 3:2 ratio. Why not 16:9? Because I can zoom in after in my project, and basically press export. Repeat that for all your time lapses, and now I just re-imported them into DaVinci as clips. It's a little bit lighter to work with. I can do stabilization on it, I can do zooms, I can do transitions between clips. It's gonna be great. And now we have the whole project that is coming together. We have everything. We're gonna slap some awesome music, go shoot some time lapses, and then import it. I want to see what you guys are going to do, because now we're going to reveal the final product. If you're ready, we're gonna see if it was worth it or not. Let me know in the comments. And with that being said, guys, have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Yo, what's up? Shoots on? All right, let's do this. Let's go.